This game never leaves you. It's always there. In who you are,
all the way to the house,
and how you dream. The lasting impression in everything you do.
Let's finish this damn game and we'll walk champs.
While you wake up every day.
Let's ball out, baby!
While you hit.
Oh, what a hit!
And get hit.
Birmingham has won the UFL
while you
championship.
get back up.
Throws it, what a catch!
While you never stop loving this game. This game that gave you life lives on. It's the Brahmas and the Renegades. Welcome back.
We come to you from just outside Dallas, where, as we know, everything in Texas is bigger, including the hopes and expectations of the two teams meeting today. Is Wade Phillips' San Antonio Brahmas and Bob Stoops' Arlington Renegade. It is year 2 of the UFL on Fox, and we welcome you to game 2 of the UFL on Fox. Kurt Menefee alongside Joel Klatt. The season officially kicked off last night. St. Louis looking good against Houston. Most of the other teams kick off today and tomorrow, including the 2 we've got today.
I just think that we're going to continue to see quality football. We saw that last night on Friday night as St. Louis looked to be not vastly improved, but a better overall football team. I think we're going to see the same here today with Arlington specifically. I think also San Antonio improved, and that's what each of these organizations wanted to do off of basically great finishes for each of these programs last year.
San Antonio made it all the way to the UFL championship game before falling to Birmingham. What can we expect from them today? And Arlington as well.
So defensively for San Antonio, and you would expect this with a Wade Phillips coach team, they're really good defensively. The best defense in the UFL. What they've needed to do is improve at quarterback. I think that they've done that with the offseason addition of Kellen Mond, the former Texas A&M quarterback, former third-round draft pick in the National Football League. I'm excited to see him play. And then the opposite side, you know, you look at Arlington, and that offense was really good late last year, and Luis Perez is back as the Spring King, the King of Spring, the quarterback that led the UFL in passing. I think this is an offense that can lead the UFL in scoring, passing. They should be pretty electric.
And it should be an electric game. We will meet both teams right after this introduction from the PA announcer, Jeff Raymond.
Now taking the field, the San Antonio Brahmas.
Coach and Bob Stoops, and the Spring King Luis Perez returns for another season at quarterback. Here are the hometown Arlington Renegades.
Stays on his feet and scores! Oh, what a play! Touchdown! Renegades!
Renegade!
Mount up.
Renegades, Brigade, get on your feet for Renegades football. Please welcome your 2025 Arlington Renegades.
We're just getting revved up in Arlington. 2 legendary coaches, 2 teams with high expectations. They think they've got what it takes to win it all, but it all starts next with game 1, right after this.
Let's ball out, baby!
All the way to the house.
That's what I'm talking about.
Renegades Brigade, let's welcome today's game ball presenter, UFL owner Danny Garcia. Joining Danny Garcia is Arlington player Marquette King, along with Renegades head coach Bob Stoops. Thank you, Danny Garcia, for presenting today's game ball. Now let's hear from our very own number 7, Marquette King.
Renegades Brigade, let me hear you make some noise. Let me hear some more noise. Thank y'all for coming out. We're gonna have a fun time tonight. Let's party. Y'all know what it is. Renegade Brigade, let's go.
You don't usually hear the punter hyping up the crowd, but that's his personality. Makes records, does it all, and punts pretty well.
That's right.
On top of that. Let's check in with Devin down on the sideline with the starting quarterback for the Renegades.
Thanks, Kurt. Hey, Louise, all of us have gotten to know you throughout the years. We understand that you are a guy that's all about improvement. It's your 3rd year in the system. You're healthy. What is the thing that you've leaned on that you have improved on the most for your game?
Yeah, you know, all offseason I told myself, hey, I want to make sure I can move the chains with my legs a little bit. So, you know, offseason that was the biggest emphasis was just, hey, let me try to get a few first downs with my legs. So we'll see if I can do that today.
So you guys didn't start fast last year, but you know that you want to do that. How do you do that? What are the keys to make sure you start fast this season?
It's all about the details and being situational masters. So I think that was a big emphasis this week by Coach Stoops and the whole staff. So I think we're ready to go.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Luis and Arlington offense going to have to wait as San Antonio won the toss as we get ready for UFL kickoff weekend to continue, brought to you by New Era. And for those of you tuning in for the first time this season, this being only the 2nd game, get a chance to see the new look kickoff in the UFL. Kind of a combination of last year and what we see in the NFL these days. The kick ball lined up at the 30-yard line. If it goes into the end zone for a touchback, it'll come out all the way to the 35, which is a big change. Instead, it's a return by Kirkland. And Jontre Kirkland gets wrapped up by Story Jackson, and for the first time, we get a chance to see Kellen Mond, the former Texas A&M quarterback, 3rd-round pick of the Minnesota Vikings a couple of seasons ago, now in his first game in the UFL.
You know, as I was talking about earlier, Kurt, this team, you know, their defense was fantastic. They did a great job in that area. They've got some good backs. I think as a tandem, Lovett and McFarland are as good as they get. They needed better quarterback play, and they bring in Kellen Mond, and they're going to look for him in 2 areas to improve what they're doing. Obviously, he's got to be a requisite passer and command the game from the pocket, but also get loose and be a threat with his legs on the outside. We saw a little of that last night with St. Louis, and we're expecting more tonight.
Here's John Lovett on the first carry of the day. Picks up 3 yards on the play. Who are some of the players we should keep an eye on today?
Yeah, I just mentioned one of those guys, John Lovett, and his backmate, Anthony McFarland. Those guys, they're as good as anybody as a tandem. And then John J. Kirkland, he led the UFL in targets. He was really an all-UFL snub. Excuse me, I thought I was going to about to say sub there. A snub last year. This is as good of an offensive player as we have in our league, and they're going to try to get him the ball and target him quite often.
Lovett wrapped up in the backfield. Arlington not fooled at all. Donald Payne, first guy to get there.
Well, Donald Payne, he was the sack leader for Arlington a year ago. 6 foot, 228 pounds, 30-year-old, played his college ball at Stetson. Look at that, nobody up to the 2nd level. That is a clean look for an experienced linebacker right in the middle of that defense, and he wraps him up easily.
Long 3rd down.
Hey,
Hey, gold, 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 gold. Frisco, Frisco, ready, ready, go.
Movement, free play. Oh, they whistled this dead.
They say that was a free run, maybe?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
That's on Tuzar Skipper getting started too early.
I mean, too early is an understatement here, right? I think they were saying that's a clear look, like a clear run. No one else moved out of their stance, and so they blew it dead there.
Well, it makes the third down a little bit more manageable.
Left up, rolls, dose, prop, on one, ready? Yeah, trips left up.
Good use of the hard cadence there from Kellen Mond. Get free 5 yards, make it a much more manageable third down.
Here we go, we're good. Ready, ready, go! Hard, hard!
3rd and 4, empty backfield. Mond escapes. Still alive, but not for long. First sack of the day, Will Clark. Bringing it home, and the Renegades stand tall.
Great coverage in the back end, and this Arlington team, you know, it looks like he was going to get sacked a couple of times, but he did a nice job spinning away. But look down the field. There's nobody open. And then as Mond was spinning and trying to get himself open, watch as nobody from San Antonio really works back to him. There's not a big sense of urgency there, and that allows the pass rush to ultimately get to Mond, get a sack on third down, and get off the field.
Dropped him back 17 yards, so Brad Wing has plenty of yards. He's got plenty of leg as well. Booming kick by Wing. Rolls out of bounds at the 13-yard line. What a punt by Wing, 69 yards.
I'll tell you what, you think if you're the quarterback, Luis Perez, you're going to get better field position after that, but an amazing punt, and here is the king of spring. UFL passing leader from a year ago, 2,300 yards, 18 touchdowns, and I think he's going to have a big year. This is a wide receiver core that he's comfortable with. It's an offense that he's comfortable with. One thing that I want all of us to pay attention to today is just how much he has authority at the line of scrimmage. You know, Chuck Long, the offensive coordinator, told me he has disclosure to change any play that he wants at any time. So the operation from Perez is something I'm very eager to watch here today.
Now, you saw the ball go out of bounds at the 13-yard line. They spotted at the 25 here for the first down. We'll explain that in just a second. And they handed off first play from scrimmage. Balaj with a short 5-yard run. Mike Pereira explained why the ball was moved up.
Yeah, Kurt, it's interesting. This is a rule that we did put in. What we wanted to do was make sure that we got as many returns as you can to encourage the return. So if an untouched kick would go out of bounds, then it's going to get put all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Doesn't it punish the punting team?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You get a good punt and you don't get all the yardage out of it, but it does encourage returns. All right, here we go. Balaj again. And Kalen Balaj with a nice tough run. Being the workhorse here in his first year with Arlington.
Yeah, and Kalen Balaj is a big back. They're going to try to feature the run game. But watch this right side. Really nice job on the right side, including the tight end, Sal Canella, getting the block out there. They seal the edge. And look at that. All those yellow jerseys covered up. Balaj not really contacted till he's 4 or 5 yards down the field. So an excellent job by that right side of the offensive line, including the tight end, Sal Canella, who's really more of a pass catcher, but a nice block there on the edge.
Balaj, former 4th-round pick of the Dolphins. Played 4 years in the NFL. And the pass by Perez, caught by Tyler Vaughns. Vaughns going to fight out across the 4-yard line. Who should we keep our eye on when Arlington has the ball?
Well, you know, listen, like I said about this offense, this offense is one of the better offenses in the entire league, and they bring in Kalen Balaj, a big, fast back that can catch it out of the backfield. He will help them. Tyler Vaughn's very experienced, and he and Perez now have played a couple of years together. Then on the other side, the Brahmas are the best defense in the league. Devontae Beckett was their all-UFL linebacker. They bring in former NFL cornerback Greedy Williams. They should be excellent.
They hand it off on the draw play. Balaj again. And fights his way once again for just a short gain, maybe 3 yards on the run.
You know, what I've loved covering San Antonio, and in particular last year on their run to finishing runner-up to Birmingham in that championship, is that this Wade Phillips coach team, they never panic on defense. You know, whether it's a successful run or pass here or there, they never panic. It is kind of a it's a very NFL style kind of bend, don't break defense. They don't give up a lot of big plays. They don't hurt themselves. And then once they have an opportunity to get off the field, they pounce like right now.
On 3rd and 7. Arlington needing the 50. Perez, and that's caught along the side. Isaiah Winstead going to be stopped short of the first down by Greedy Williams. Decision time on 4th and 1.
Yeah, I was going to say they might go for it here. Stay on the field. First series for Arlington, and it looks like Bob Stoops will be aggressive. He's got 1 yard. They'll go quick up at the line of scrimmage.
High snap. Dede Hunter got it. Leapfrogging everybody to get the first down.
Yeah, nice job up front, this offensive line. This is an offensive line that, to be honest, they had some question marks about coming into this year. A lot of inexperience up there, but they've done a nice job. Look at that double team right in the middle. Excellent job as Dede Hunter goes up and over the top.
Wide open, Sal Cannella, the big tight end, and he takes it down inside the 25. That's a connection that worked for the most touchdown passes in the league last year. Here, their first time this season, 24 yards.
Watch the play action right here as they're going to get this run fake, and both linebackers are going to bite, and that allows Cannella to get right up over the top. Those linebackers, all you need is a step, and look at that. Just inches over the outstretched arm. Beautiful ball, layered over the linebacker. Sal Cannella, like I said, one of the better receiving tight ends in the league. That's a nice play there from Perez and Cannella.
3rd year that they've been together.
Gotta go!
We got a timeout right beforehand.
Timeout, Arlington. It's their first snap. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
Play clock was winding down, so this offense decided to call a timeout. Not lose field position.
Make sure that everybody is on the same page. Good opening series here for Arlington.
It has been.
You know,
they look like an offense that's been together for a while.
I was just going to say experience, reps together, and a quarterback that's played a lot of football.
And that includes Chuck Long, the offensive coordinator, who's been here all 3 seasons with Perez.
And that continuity is continuing, and obviously Perez with even more command of the system this year. And like I said, we'll be aware of, as this game progresses, just how much autonomy Perez has at the line of scrimmage, changing the play.
Here we go. Unbalanced, trips left C. Ali 4, Z-Dart X Force, can, Gator 5. On to ready.
So this is a pass play called, and then if he cans it, he alerts to the second play. He's going to go to a Gator 5, which I think is one of their runs. We're good, okay? So it should be in that pass play. Well, there we go.
Kalen Balazs gets around the corner, has a couple of blocks. And he's finally forced out of bounds on the play by Greedy Williams, but a good run by Balazs, who has been busy on this opening series.
Yeah, that's right. They had 2 plays called in the huddle, and Balazs, I think he could really transform them. And they're going to need that run threat because, remember, their quarterback, Perez, is not a run threat. And so they're going to need a guy that can catch it, run it, and be a physical guy in between the tackles. And that's certainly right up Balazs' alley.
2nd and short, Balazs lowers his head, fights his way down to the 10-yard line, and another Renegades first down.
Red zone defense.
You can see they struggled on the opening drive last season.
Yeah, and they need to do a better job, and now you're in the red zone and facing the best red zone defense in the league from a year ago.
X-Force, on to ready. Here we go.
10th play of this opening drive for Arlington.
80 to the hood. On the ball.
Going to be on Arlington. I believe there's a right guard, Garrett McGinn.
Here we go.
Call for a false start, so it'll back him up. 1st and 15.
To the hood.
Dede Hunter No running room. Got stacked up, give him 3 yards on the run. So it made a little something out of nothing.
Hold on. Hey. Hey, Y bunch right, F move. 52, X moves are F corner. Okay, ready? Gotta go. Get with. Tighten up, T. Sit over, 80. Sit hook. Turn, sit up.
Perez with time. Underneath Canella, and he's down to the 2-yard line.
Watch this route by Canella. You talk about guys being on the same page. So here's Canella. He's going to come across the field, but then he's going to just kind of circle right back in. A feel for space and what's going on with his quarterback. Here's Canella. Look, he's heading over to that left side, and then he just stops and comes back to the middle of the field. Perez sees that, feels that opening as well, and it's a nice little completion.
And there's an injury timeout on the field. Tavante Beckett looks to be okay, but they had to stop the game. We'll take a timeout in the meantime. Oh, the opening game for San Antonio and Arlington in this UFL season. San Antonio forced a punt on their first drive. Arlington marching down the field and are inside the 5-yard line on their first possession.
Hey, listen up. Duff right, F orbit. Pull 3, F slider. Okay, ready?
Third and a long one. They can get a first down without scoring.
Lady! That's a hook! What?
Oh, that's a killer.
63. False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. It's still.
That's the left tackle, Ricky Lee. Long time.
Movement from the left tackle, Kurt. You just can't have these. You know, you think about the limited possessions, and there you see just a Ricky Lee leans out of that stance, number 63. Limited possessions in this league because of the clock rules, and when you get a chance like this, you have got to make it work. And now inside the 10, backed up for a third down.
Sit over, 80. Sit hook. Yep. Turtle, sit up.
Empty set. Perez throws on the run. Winstead. Touchdown, Arlington. Seven yards on the touchdown pass from Luis Perez to Isaiah Winstead, and the Renegades are on top.
Well, Winstead did a great job getting some separation. Did he get in? Oh, it looks like he's going to have the first, but he was a little short. You see that shin down, that left shin. So right here, you're going to get the first down. It's across, but the left shin was down right before that got over the goal line. I would be surprised if this doesn't come back. But look at the route to get the separation. Beautiful job and patience within the route. You know, he just kind of lulls the defender to sleep. Then he creates the separation, and Perez was ready on time and on target with that ball.
You could be assured that Mike Pereira, and replay will take another look at that. All scoring plays are reviewed automatically. And as you said, though, they could get the first down, and if they spot this like we think they are, they did get the first down. So it'll be first and goal from inside the 1.
Yeah, that's certainly the way it looked to me. That first shot we had was an excellent shot, you know, from more of the interior of the field looking out. And
so they did overturn it.
It'll be first down now inside the 1.
Yeah.
So they took the touchdown off the board. It'll be first and goal inside the 1. Line up the tight end Seth Green in the full house backfield and hand it off. It's a touchdown now. Devontae Smith or Davion Smith, pardon me. Wrong first name, right last, same result.
They just signed him just a couple of weeks ago, right at the end of camp. Davion Smith, right here, number 9. Nice job getting over that left side. Another good block up front. Kalen Balaj, number 4, the other running back, starting running back. Nice block on the left side. And that was actually Holton Ahlers in at quarterback, number 15. So a little bit of a wrinkle there for Arlington to punch it across for the first score of the day.
And they're deciding to go for 2 here from the 5-yard line.
You know, they were the best 2-point team in the UFL last year. They were 67%. League average was 40%. So UFL's best right here.
Perez lost it, and it's caught by Canella for the 2-point. And it's an 8-0 lead after 1 possession for the Renegades. 13 plays, 75 yards, more than 7.5 minutes. Basically like Bob Stoops drew it up. Renegades on top. Today's game is sponsored by Progressive. Progressive Insurance offers round-the-clock protection. And by McDonald's. Arlington with the first score of the game. Attack on the 2-point conversion. They've got an 8-0 lead in the early going. Each team with the ball once so far in this season opener. Anthony McFarland, the former Steeler. A nice return. Let's check in with Devin.
Louise, we talked in the open about the things you worked on, the things you improved on. Mobility, and you wanted to start fast. Clearly, everybody can see you started fast. Take us through a couple of these plays where you showed your more mobility and was able to pick up first downs.
Yeah, so I think right here, this was a good one. I kind of stepped up in the pocket. I wouldn't say I escaped the pocket, but yeah, Zay did a nice job. We had a little option route, and he did a great job getting open there, separating. And they were just in man coverage, so you got to win your one-on-one battles, and he did that.
Is that something you expect to see a lot, man coverage, because you aren't the guy that uses your legs a lot?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. They're bringing a lot at us right now, but I think the biggest thing is just staying true to my reads and executing. That's it.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Corbin, his first carry, he gets popped in the backfield, big time hit by Miles Dorn.
Yeah, did you see how fast Dorn closes down? Second year with Arlington. Watch how quickly Dorn comes up from that strong safety position and is in the backfield. Like he's looking at him fill into that alley and then just spin, bam, and he's right there for basically a tackle for loss. Lost a half yard.
Ready, go. Hard.
On to pass. Nice job along the sideline, Jacob Harris. Big-bodied receiver, 6'6", and he gets up 17 yards upfield.
This is a beautiful throw.
It really is.
A really beautiful throw, because watch, the corner feels like he's in position, and then he just couldn't get up over the top. That was Stephen Jones. It looks like he wants to try to jump and tip that ball, and then he realized, no, that's too well thrown on the sideline, perfectly for Harris, who just catches it right there before stepping out.
Ready, go.
From the 44 of Arlington. Mon shows his movement, keeps the play alive, and picks up a couple yards before stepping out of bounds.
It's a good decision. And here's A.J. Smith, the offensive coordinator, up in the booth.
Here we go. Hey, blue, X-phase, Z-switch, pop, on one, ready?
Second down.
Ready, go. Hard.
After the 5-yard pickup, Mond. That one may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete. Incompletion there by Kellen Mond brings up third down.
Now at 3rd and 5, this is when, as a quarterback, you have got to understand the threat that your legs can be. You know, if he doesn't have it here in his first couple of looks, you look about converting, moving the chains with your legs.
Hey, lefty. Hey, blue. Here we go. Frisco, ready, go.
Mond under pressure, throws down the sideline, overthrows Greg Ward, incomplete. Ward had a step on his defender, but they couldn't connect.
Well, they take a shot right there. I thought he had him there. He had a little space, and now they have a decision to make here on 4th down across the 50, but it's a good route here, and you're going to get to the corner. He gets a little bit inside move, and look at that separation. That's a ball you really need to complete. Kellen Mond, he's got to hit this wide receiver right on that upfield shoulder, and now on 4th down, it looks like they are going to run on the special teams unit here.
Yeah, for a second it looked like they were going to go for it, but I guess Wade Phillips changed his mind, and now they're going to punt. Bring out Brad Wing. Did they get a timeout? So they got the timeout as they were changing, going on and off the field with the special teams unit.
Yeah. Although if you're going to punt it, why
not take the extra yardage?
Why not just take the 5 yards?
Yeah.
That's why that was a little bit, that was a little odd.
Yes.
Don't want to burn a timeout there. But now is Mond back on the field. Now the offense is back on the field. This makes more sense. They took the timeout to put the offense back on the field, thought about it as a coaching staff, and now they will go for it here inside their own 40.
We should mention Wade Phillips is coaching from up in the booth this game. Said he wanted to let his coordinators handle things on the field, and you wonder if that didn't lead to just a little bit of the confusion there by having the head coach not on the field. So here we go, 4th and 5.
Ready, go. Hut.
Here comes the pressure again. Mond steps up, throws, and they're saying it's either an incompletion or an interception. And now they're saying incomplete. The ball hit the ground. Jaden Price gets the pick. Results are the same. It's a turnover on downs. Arlington will take over when we come back after getting the defensive stop on 4th down. Last game of Seattle, we
Now Above and Beyond brought to you by Jersey Mike's. We look at Luis Perez. He's earned the title King of Spring, only QB to win games in the AAF, XFL, TSL, USFL, and the UFL. Suited up for the Birmingham Iron, New York Guardians, the Jousters, Generals, Vegas, Arlington. That's where he won a title, by the way, just a couple of years ago, as he led the UFL last season in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Our guy, Kurt, we've seen him for
everywhere
a few years, and he has had a really nice start to this game. 5 of 5 for 50 yards, on the same page with his tight end, his wide receiver Tyler Vaughns, who has a catch, as well as a guy that they're very excited about, Isaiah Winstead, who got a nice 3rd down conversion inside the 5-yard line. That offense on their first series looked like they were hitting on all cylinders.
And they put it into the end zone of that opening series. Dede Hunter, first carry of series number 2, and he gets a big run after contact. And the little man with 19 yards on that.
I'll tell you, this offensive line is doing a good job. And like I said, I was talking with Chuck Long early before the game, and he said that was a bit of a question mark. And against the UFL's best defense from a year ago, this starting 5 has done a nice job.
And a quick pass out by Perez.
There we go.
Jaden Payton with the catch. And Perez in this offense continues to be in rhythm.
Devin, this rhythm is solid right now from Perez.
Yeah, of course. It's very convenient that we used above and beyond for Luis because he went above and beyond, making sure this team is going to be able to move like this, having organized team activities, right? OTAs in December, but player-led, right? He got a bunch of the guys together, made sure they got extra work to make sure that when they got into the season, got into camp, they will be moving similar to what we're seeing right now.
Dede Hunter. He's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Lonnie Phelps with the stop.
Let's go 11 Zay. Zeus left, bunch right, steer 2, F slider. Zeus left, bunch right, steer 2, F slider.
Left, bunch right, steer 2, F slider. On top, ready? Hey, yeah, you're good. There you go. Sit up. Lady. Real. Real. Terrible, sit up. Come on, fellas. Come on.
Hunter again. Tripped up in the secondary. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter after the 3-yard run, a quarter in which this Arlington offense has looked pretty good. They scored on their only completed possession. They've got it time number 2 and marching to add to it.
This Arlington offense picking up right where they left off last year. They were great late, and they've been great early today. And they've started off running the football so well. That offensive line doing a nice job. And what that's allowed for is them to be able to hurt the defense with the play action. You see, after a couple of successful runs, the play fake right there in the face of the linebackers, they bite up, and then Sal Cannella, the tight end, can get right over the top. They go back to the run game with Davion Smith, and he finds himself in the end zone. So a really nice job by this Arlington offensive front, the running backs, the quarterback Perez. The offense in that first half was tremendous. And you look at that, 57 yards, 58, or excuse me, on the ground, 58 through the air. So they've been balanced for their 115 yards and 8 first downs. He's in total command right now in this first quarter.
It certainly helps when your offensive line is playing the way they have, especially in the run game, as you mentioned. Those 57 yards on 11 carries, so more than 5 yards per. On first down, they fake the handoff. Perez over the middle, intercepted. Threw it right into the hands of Corey Mayfield. And as soon as you praise Perez in this offense, a costly mistake.
I don't think he ever saw him there. Mayfield came from the opposite side of the field, so they go back to the play action just like we were talking about. But here's the problem is Perez, his eyes are on this side of the field, not this side of the field. And there you see right there, Mayfield just drops back into the lap of Sal Cannella, and I don't think Perez ever saw him. You see those eyes are on that front side of the play. And then all of a sudden, Corey Mayfield Jr. comes back from the backside, and you can tell he thought, oh, I thought I had it. I didn't see him. And that's a giant mistake as Arlington was driving for their second score.
And so Mond and the Brahmas will take over.
Ready, go.
From the 31-yard line. Mond to McFarland out of the backfield. One-hand catch. And Anthony McFarland fights his way out to the 38-yard line. Nice 7-yard pickup on the reception.
I tell you, that's a guy I think they need to get going. You know, remember late last year, he had that shoulder injury, and in the last couple of weeks of the season, and then into the playoffs, he was dynamic, and you can see his speed on that last play, just dumping the ball off to him, almost like a check down from Kellen Mond, and yet he accelerates and explodes right in the middle of the field, and then you've got second and short.
Stare. Yeah, ready, go.
And they hand it off to McFarland, and there you go. Wade Phillips called him lightning in a bottle, and he shows you why on back-to-back plays. The reception with the moves and then a 31-yard run.
I tell you, the center does such a good job here. Watch Tecklenburg. Watch him come back. He's going to start this way and then come back and seal off right there, and then the hole is wide open for Anthony McFarland. Beautiful job up front by the offensive line. They seal it, and McFarland finds that open area, and that's the acceleration I was just talking about. An electric player all the way back to his days at Maryland. I've loved his game. He was great late last year and providing a spark here.
4th-round pick of the Steelers out of Maryland.
Ready, go.
He gets it again. This time going to be bottled up behind the line of scrimmage. no gain on the play. Chris Odom, first guy in blue there.
And another guy that's been quiet so far for them is Kirkland. John Trey Kirkland, who led them in targets. As McFarland got 3 straight touches, Kirkland has been just a touch quiet. He's a guy they need to get the ball to, number 13. He's 5'11", 184. This is his second year with San Antonio, and he became really their most dynamic offensive threat on the outside, and they need to get him a touch.
Ready, go. Hard.
Come on, through the air, nice back shoulder throw. Jacob Harris with the reception. His second catch of the game. 17 yards and a first down.
Tampa power read. Tampa power read. Apache, Tampa power read.
Yep. Here we go. Hey, we're on the Frisco. Hey, Apache. Hey, power Tampa read on the Frisco. Ready?
Even read.
Shift.
San Antonio with 3 running backs in the game.
I'm good. Hey.
And then they shift Mon behind him. John Lovett takes the handoff, gives it to McFarland, and Arlington not fooled.
Give me this. Trips left, ram, blast. Trips left, ram, blast. Trips left, ram, blast. Turbo, 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 turbo.
Here we go. Hey, we got a trips left, Rams blast on 1. Ready? Stop. Yeah.
More traditional lineup now. We got a timeout by Arlington. So 11:36 left to go.
It's their second of the half.
Arlington trying to hold on to the lead and keep San Antonio off the scoreboard. Playing for the Brahmas, a bit of a homecoming for Kellen Mond, who was born and raised in San Antonio before going to IMG Academy in Florida. He played for Texas A&M in college, 3rd-round pick of the Vikings in 21, and then wound up playing for Cleveland, the Colts, last year for the Saints. But now he does come back home to play in the UFL for the San Antonio Brahmas.
I think he's looked pretty good so far. Devin, what have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, absolutely. He goes along that same line like we've talked about with Birmingham, that quarterback that can run the ball, he can also throw the ball. But the one thing studying the film from his past is he is really good outside the numbers. I would love to see him take the next step in being able to have that confidence throwing over the middle. You can see a lot of cover 2, a lot of too high from Arlington, and then see if he can exploit that with confidence here down the red zone.
Yeah, great thought, Devin.
He's got it on 2nd down.
Ready, go. Hard.
From the 13, caught in the backfield, John Lovett. I tell you what, Chris Odom, it's like he knew the snap count or something. He was there almost before the ball was handed off.
Yeah, and Odom is a guy that they're expecting a lot out of. And I think this is a missed assignment up front. It's got to be. He's a down lineman, and nobody blocks Chris Odom. He was all UFL with the Houston Roughnecks back in 2024, and I think that you look at this addition, they're expecting him to be a dominant force up front. They lose Jalen Redmond, who of course played 13 games last year in the NFL. He was a terrific player for them, and now Odom's looking to replace that position.
Yeah, Redmond playing with the Vikings last season. Here's Mond. On his tippy toes and completes it. Marquez Stevenson breaks a tackle and fights his way into the end zone. No, he's going to be out of bounds just shy of the goal line. Still a big completion and a flag in the backfield.
Let's see what this flag is.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 68. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's still 3rd down.
And it's all going to come back. The right tackle, Zuri Henry, call for a face mask.
Well, I was wondering, what went on. It was a late flag, but you're going to see Henry on the right side. Watch 68, this right tackle, and right there, the hand is all over the face. And that's so clearly you can see him dragging the defender down, and that's what allows Mond to throw the ball. Devin over the middle. There was a little growth right there. That was a nice ball over the middle. And he had all the time in the world, partly because of that face mask, and it's going to come back. So what looked to be a beautiful play for San Antonio now turns out to be disaster. 3rd and long.
3rd and 26 from the 31.
Ready, go. Hard.
Mond has time, pulls it down, scrambles, and then laterals it. Luckily for San Antonio, it went out of bounds. He tried to get it to Jacob Harris, and it slipped through his fingers.
If Harris catches that, he might go to the end zone. I mean, you could tell Mond at one point during the middle of the run he wanted to lateral it, and then he takes another, 2, 3, 4 steps, and then he actually did lateral it. There's the hole on the left side. There's right here. He kind of looks over, you can tell, and then he's like, yep, I'm definitely going to do that. And if Harris catches that, he might score. Just out of his reach. Looked like he tried to run before he actually got his hands on the football.
Stop, yes. Clock is stop at 9:52.
So they decide that
Replay review.
we're going to have a review here to see whether or not it's a forward lateral, right, Mike Pereira?
Mike, we're in review.
That is correct. We're going to look at this. The ball's released. It's going to actually release the ball at the 16-yard line. Now the question is, where is it touched? Is it touched beyond the 16? So that's the question there. And if it is, and that's what we're looking just to make sure, then it's an illegal forward pass and would go back 5 yards. Now, makes a difference in the possible field goal attempt. So that's really why we're taking a close look at this.
Yep.
And Brian Banks, you hear me as we're looking at this. The ball's let go at the 16. It's touched. Let's go at the 15.5. It is forward. So we're going to put an illegal forward pass on this play. And it's going to be from the 16-yard line. We're going to go back 5 to the 21. And it's going to be 4th down there at the 21.
Yep, and the number of the player who made the illegal forward pass?
12. That's at number 12.
Thank you. After review, number 12 of the offense had an illegal forward pass. It's a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the pass to the 16-yard line. It includes a loss of down. It's 4th down.
And there's the explanation from Mike Pereira and Byron Banks.
Tell you what, Mike Pereira, good eyes. I did not, and you know, you think it's that forward progress type of deal, but I did not expect that was forward, but Mike caught it.
That's why he's the best.
That's exactly right.
So it backs him up a little bit more. His first field goal attempt since high school, but he's all over social media, destroying. And he gets the field goal from 39 yards out, making his first kick since high school successful. Put that on Instagram. Brahmas cut into the lead. It's 8-3. Today's game is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by New Era. Shop the collection today.
Imagine he in the backfield with the knife now. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
Well, Donald De La Haye, known as Destroying on social media, and this is how you celebrate making your first kick since high school. 39-yarder, made it an 8-3 ball game. He's all set to kick things off, and look at those numbers, almost as many as Joel.
Yeah, right. Oh, my goodness. That's such good stuff. You talk about a guy, and he gained a lot of that notoriety because of that fight with the NCAA. Remember, they didn't want to allow him to monetize his YouTube page.
And then he came in.
And he was like, pound sand, I'm monetizing my YouTube page, and rightly so.
And the reason that's his first field goal is he made the team last year, got hurt week 2, but he's back again this season and making it pay, getting the field goal. All right, Devin Gardner's on the sideline waiting for him to come over. Devin.
I am on the sideline waiting, and destroying is here. Now, the last time we saw you were playing outside linebacker, knocking people out, but you're back now, right? And how did that feel to get back on the field and make that field goal?
Man, it felt amazing. I ain't gonna lie, I had a little jitters, but I trust my preparation. I trust what I do, and just had to knock it through, baby.
All right, one more question. Everybody's getting paid now, and it's a little bit because of you. How do you feel about that? And do you wish you were still in college?
Nah, I'm proud of my brothers and sisters getting NIL, man. They're getting a lot of money. They might have to break me off a little bit, but I'm proud of them. I'm happy for them.
I am. Break them off.
Speaking of breaking, Kalen Ballage breaking tackles and going all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. That's how you respond. 77 yards and a score.
And this is exactly what Bob Stoops was hoping for when they brought in Kalen Ballage. They wanted to get a little younger at the running back position, and Bob Stoops made the right call. Ballage is a physical guy with home run ability, and watch as he breaks through the line of scrimmage and then gets to the second level, and then you're going to see some poor tackling from San Antonio. But again, it's the physicality of Ballage, 6'2", 222 pounds. And then after he gets hit, he's got the speed to take it the distance. Excellent run from Kalen Ballage.
Going for two. Perez outside, Deontay Burnett, and they convert two more. 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, and a 16-3 lead for the hometown team. Kalen Ballage already over 100 yards. It kind of helps when you got 77 on 1 carry and take it into the end zone. Round 1 of the college basketball crown starts Monday on FS1. Utah will take on Butler at 3 Eastern, followed by George Washington and Boise State at 5:30. Nebraska, Arizona State at 8:30, and Georgetown against Washington at 11 p.m. The college basketball crown Monday on FS1. And there's a look at the teams involved. Tournament takes place all in Las Vegas. If you put a little bit on Kalen Ballage to score today, you are a winner. Longest run in the history of the UFL in season plus.
And we saw some quality run game last night out of St. Louis where they actually had set the record. Howard with that long run, and now Ballage next day just bang.
Jarvion Howard ran one for 74 yards on the score last night. St. Louis impressive in their victory over Houston, 270-plus yards rushing alone, more than 400 total offense, and they win 31-6 to get the season started.
Yeah, I've been very impressed so far with this Arlington team, because remember, San Antonio was the #1 defense in the UFL last year, and no one had scored, really in particular late in the season, a whole lot on them. They only averaged giving up 15 per game.
Anthony McFarland. Let's check in again with Devin.
Yeah, coach is asking, what is he doing? He did the run, and now you're over here with this guy. He's got his hat going now. So how does it feel in the very first game to have the longest run in UFL history?
It's exciting, man. It's all glory to God. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, is just allowing me to be here and play to the highest level. My teammates are killing it. And I feel like I just owe it to them, for working so hard.
And the Lord's really blessed you with other talents, like how large you are and how you're able to run through. Stand up for me real quick so I can see. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy.
Go
and
18, go 18.
It's unfair is what it is. So stop cheating. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Devin, did you just stand him up?
Yeah, it's like, how are you doing this? It's unfair. No running back should be that big and be able to run that fast.
I tell you, it is impressive. There's no doubt. And what also is impressive, I talked about how San Antonio, defensively was so good. Arlington played this San Antonio team twice last year, and they were held to 15 points exactly in each of those matchups. They already have 16 in this one. Ballage already over 105 yards now, 100 yards, 105 on the ground. And this offense, they were really good. They scored 31 a game in their last 4 games down the stretch, and they have picked up where they left off.
Here's Kellen Mond out to Jontre Kirkland, his first catch of the game.
Now San Antonio, this is when they really need to respond. Again, you know, you got the three-point play.
Right.
And so this is not out of hand by any stretch, but you look at this middle section of the game. You know, you look at, now we got 8:21 counting until halftime. You start to think about how many scores can you get, how many possessions can you get, Kurt, and then what do we got early in the third quarter? This is a really critical section of the game right now for San Antonio that they don't let this get out of hand.
And you also don't want to give it back to Arlington to give them another chance because they get the ball to start the second half. And another false start.
Prior to the delay of game, timeout, San Antonio. That's their third and final. It'll be
so the Brahmas were able to get their final timeout to prevent the penalty. And a lot to talk about for Kellen Mond and crew right now on third and short, as you said, a pretty crucial third and short. Important, maybe not crucial, important.
After the interception that their defense was able to get, their best offensive series was really sparked by Anthony McFarland, getting him the ball. Now, do they have to go back to McFarland? No, maybe not. But the idea of getting your best players the football right now in what I think is a really important piece of the game, time of the game, and this is where if you're a coordinator like A.J. Smith, you've got to think about Anthony McFarland. You've got to think about John Trey Kirkland. How am I getting the ball to those players and in what spots on the field? And that's where you convert right here, and then you go to those guys to try to get yourself down the field and in position to score.
Here we go.
You see Kirkland, McFarland's on the sideline on this play.
Denver split on one, ready? Go right.
Needing 1 yard, they put John Lovett in the backfield.
Ready, go.
Kirkland in motion. Lovett. Second effort. Let's see where they spot this football. Charlie Thomas wrapped him up. It's going to be right at the marker.
I think they are going to give it to him on this second effort. Watch it as Lovett accelerates right here. So there's the decision. And then he just accelerates and then just fights and fights and fights, and he barely gets that ball up to that 41-yard line. They give it to him. They'll move the chains in a new set here for San Antonio.
And maybe an opportunity to breathe just a little bit and get some of those other guys involved you talked about.
Ready, go. Hard.
Mon. That batted in the air and falls incomplete. Davion Nixon.
Turbo. Okay. Give me Denver key 2. Denver key. Oh, no, hey, blue F win prop. Blue F win prop. Here
we go. And we got a spread blue F win prop on one. Ready? Wing left. You want to do it? Ready, go. Hard.
Whistles again before the snap.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
You know, these guys that are new to the league, you know, that clock is fast. You know, 35 seconds instead of the 40 at the NFL level, and it can sneak up on you. And on that one, you can tell he wasn't even paying attention.
Right.
He was just nonchalantly looking at the defense, waiting for the snap there, and they'll back up 5.
Yeah, he was not in a hurry at all, and it cost him 5 yards.
Ready, go. Hard.
Come on, that one tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's the third or fourth time we've seen that. Charlie Thomas getting the hand up there.
All right, here we go.
Brings up third and long.
Trips left, shark, Z crack. Trips left, shark, Z crack.
Hey, here we go. Hey, trips left, shark, Z crack on one. Ready? Take him now.
Needing to cross midfield.
Here we go. Ready, go. Hard.
Quick pass. McFarland goes nowhere. He's tripped up almost immediately as soon as he caught the football. Chris Claybrooks making the stop. And this Arlington defense standing tall.
Boy, Chris Claybrooks came up and make a really nice tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, there was some space there for the screen pass on the outside for McFarland. But he gets away from the offensive lineman, Filiaga, who is out there, 77, and then he just grabs those ankles and he gets McFarland to the ground. Really nice play on the outside.
Brad Wing punts it away. Jaden Price back deep. Inside his own 5-yard line. And shut down right at the 20. Bopet Keys making the tackle, and we will see what Arlington has in store. They've scored the only 2 touchdowns we've had today, and they've got a nice, comfortable lead.
Hey, man. Hey, I owe that y'all, bro. Hey, y'all keep doing it. We're going to be special. Come on. Fellas.
Yeah,
good
come
job,
on,
baby.
come on. Big fella at? Hey, big fella. Oh.
Good job.
Why wouldn't you encourage your guys to keep doing this?
I just love him going up to the guys that make it possible. Now, you know, I mean, the broken tackle is all him at the end, but, man, they have been playing great up front, the offensive line. And this is a team, Kurt, this is a bit of a surprise for them to be this dominant on the ground. They, last season, for Bob Stoops, threw the ball more than anybody in the league.
Right.
They were the most pass-happy offense in the league, and I think that that's taken the Brahmas by surprise so far.
They didn't have a Kalen Ballage last season. Will end around, taken by Peyton. And Peyton going to be close to that first down. And he gets it, 10 yards on the run.
So what's happening right now is San Antonio is a step behind Chuck Long as far as the offensive coordinator goes. Because right now they're trying to put more guys in the run box, but then Chuck Long is expanding the formation, and then he's bringing those little jet sweeps, and he's doing anything he wants.
Here's Day Hunter. And he's caught in the backfield. Good tackle made by Lonnie Phelps.
In order to combat the quality run game, then they just go with one single safety. Well, that means that you've got more guys up front in the run box than they can block, and then your unblocked player has got to make the play. So the cat and mouse game is starting to go here now in the first half, and San Antonio came into this game, and they wanted to play with safeties deep because, again, Perez, the passing game, the pass-happy nature of the Renegades, and that has changed. And that has changed dramatically in this first half, and San Antonio is having to change on the fly.
Canelo goes in motion. Perez kind of leapfrogs it right into the hands of the other tight end, Seth Green.
11. All right, let's go. Dixie Wright, Z move, chip, 762 Sparrow. Dixie Wright, Z move, chip, 762 Sparrow.
Hey, Sal, we're going Dixie Wright, Z move, chip, 762 Sparrow, on Daytona. Ready? Come on, get going, get going, get going, get going, get going. Hey, go, go, go.
Trying to get him going as the play clock is getting close.
Gotta go. Daytona, that's it.
Perez brings it down. He runs, not the most fleet of foot, but he does enough to get the first down.
Tell you what, Devin, that's exactly what he said he wanted to work on this offseason.
I mean, how about that? The most immobile quarterback in the UFL takes off and picks up a big first down for the Renegades. I mean, like you said, he talked about in the open that that's the one thing that the coaches in the NFL have always said about him, his ability to move and create with his legs. I'm just telling you, I think they like that.
Oh, there's no doubt. And what I loved about it is that he didn't do that on a preconceived decision. He saw the linebacker carry the routes deep, and when you see a back of a defender as a quarterback, it doesn't matter if you're as slow as me. You got to make a play.
Hey, you know what I also love, Joel? The ball security. You can see him in the pocket, 2 hands, climbing up, making sure that the ball is secure, because that's the most important thing. And then when he starts to get down the field, he protects it. I would love for him not to take that big shot, but you got to make sure you get that first down.
I think that's what everyone's saying to him, and he's sheepishly, laughing in the huddle right now because they're like, hey, man, slide. And he's like, yeah, I know.
I think they're saying, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, that's probably
17 yards on a run.
True.
You look good, too, right? It wasn't all gumpy. You look good.
Arlington did use their final timeout here to stop the clock.
Did Devin just say ish?
Ish.
Ish?
Goodish. You look goodish.
That's probably the best description.
That's good. That's good. They don't have any timeouts now, Arlington. So 2:36, obviously with the 2-minute warning, the clock will stop. But they get the ball back again. Let's talk about that middle section, Kurt.
Exactly.
Now, like, this is a big moment in this game. If they can string together a series that winds up with points or even a touchdown, they'll get the ball right back. So not only do you want to go score, but take up the full 2:36.
The one downside to that final timeout being used is they cannot challenge a play should they think it's close. Not much on the pickup, 1 yard officially. And this is all that Kellen Mond can do right now is just sit and watch.
That's why Arlington's not in any hurry. I would just let this go down to the 2-minute.
Leo X'd up on Daytona. Ready? Daytona, gotta go.
Why even take a snap?
Well, it looks like they're going to try to snap it quick.
180. Right to hut. Terrible tonight.
There's all kinds of movement. And I think they were not going to take a snap, but not all the linemen were on the same page.
We got that prior to the 2-minute timeout, correct? We had a false start prior.
On our side. That's it. That's it.
Did that happen prior to the 2-minute timeout?
At 2:01.
It happened at 2:01.
At 2:01.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What number? 55.
By 1 second.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Right guard Garrett McGinn, second time he's been penalized
Please reset
here.
the game clock to 2 minutes and 1 second. 2:01. The clock will start.
Had he not moved, they would have gotten to the 2-minute warning.
Well, and that's again just kind of a self-inflicted wound there, you know, and you lose that yardage. And here's the play with the game clock on the left. You can see right there, 2:01 when he stood up out of that stance.
And now we're at the 2-minute warning. So it cost him 5 yards. We'll see how costly it is in the end. Arlington still in control, 16-3. We are 2 minutes on the game clock away from the Progressive Halftime Show. We'll get you inside the locker rooms, break down some of the new rules of the UFL, and first half stats and analysis coming your way courtesy of Joel Klatt.
Well, I'll tell you, I know I'll be talking about their run game because they've been excellent running the football. Today they've got 149 yards. Last year they averaged 84 yards on the ground. That was 6th best in the league. And so they have transformed themselves, at least here in this first half of the first week of this season for Bob Stoops. Last year they didn't have a 100-yard rusher all season long, and already Kalen Balaj over the 100 mark in the first half of the opener. So this is a different team, you know, and a team that I think is deeper and clearly much better this season.
And more multifaceted than the team that led the league in passing last year. Perez caught by Winningham, leaps a defender, comes down safely right over Tariq Carpenter, and 12 yards and a first.
Wow.
You always worry about guys when they do that, but when you can land on your feet.
I was panicked for him for a second, and now that brings up a more manageable third down.
You're right. My apologies. They had lost yards on that first down, so it's now 3rd and 2 after the 12-yard pickup. Flag down before Day Hunter got the ball.
120 what? 120 what? It's a 10. All right, it's a 10-second runoff, right?
Oh, did they false start?
So
oh, what a mistake.
They don't have a timeout to avoid it. Make sure they do not run the runoff. All right, all right. Yeah. All right.
False start. Offense. All 11 players are not set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Sign up.
San Antonio has declined the 10-second runoff. The clock will start on the snap.
51.
So the 10-second runoff would normally, you know, apply here, but San Antonio on a 3rd down thinks they can get the ball back. They still have timeout left, so they're trying to get points before the half, but a huge mistake there from Perez just in operation of the formation.
That's the 6th penalty for Arlington. It's the one thing they have not done right here in the first half. Cutting across the middle, incomplete. Deontay Burnett, the intended receiver. But Darius Phillips knocked it down.
Well, that's what the mistakes, you know, will come back to haunt you. And that's exactly what Bob Stoops was talking to us about this week, that he wants to avoid. And every coach wants that. But I can just tell you right now, it burns Bob Stoops up, those what he would call just mental errors.
You got to get fully set. You were directing them. Yeah, that's all.
There he goes, steps in, coaches his quarterback. But again, those mental errors, what he would call non-physical penalties. And that just drives him crazy.
Marquez Stevenson from the 14. Tripped up. Not much on the return, and so we'll get a chance to see with 1 minute, 12 seconds left in the first half what Kellen Mond and crew can do. If you know football, you know Wade Phillips. He has been around a long time. 12 years as an NFL head coach, 37 as an NFL head coach or coordinator. He's been here with the XFL and now the UFL for the last 2 seasons in San Antonio, taking the championship game. 56 years in coaching, and speaking of 56, today, also his 56th wedding anniversary to his lovely bride, Lori. Happy anniversary. We saw the two of them coming in together, all smiles.
They were, and I got to tell you, she was so lovely. You know, what did we say? We said, you know, something along the lines of,
did the marriage work because he's gone half the time?
And she said, absolutely.
Ready, go.
Hey,
so good.
That's how you stay together. Tell the truth, right? Out of the backfield, Ja'Shawn Corbin.
Well, let's see what Kellen Mond has here with 1:08 left. He has a timeout. You know, the clock rules in the UFL are certainly conducive to getting down the field. Going to stop after a first down. So a little different than the NFL. So as a quarterback, you always think to yourself, outside of the numbers, pass the sticks. Outside of the numbers, pass the sticks. And just beat that into your head.
Here's Mond. Quick pass. And maybe that's been his most consistent receiver all day is Jacob Harris.
Well, I think they're going to call this incomplete. He was bobbling it, and then he was contacted over on that side by Price, Jaden Price, who came in and started fighting for the ball. So watch the catch.
It's a completed pass with a fumble out of bounds. The ball will return to the spot of the fumble, and then we will wind the clock on my signal.
You saw him bobble it there initially, and then he did end up controlling that, had a couple of steps, football move, and then it came loose as they were going out of bounds.
That's his 3rd catch, 45 yards for Harris. Mond. I think he got hit as he threw, and so that ball didn't have quite as much as he wanted on it, but it still was enough to get it out to Ward.
And Devin, that corner route, that's his best throw. That you can tell he's most comfortable with that corner route outside the numbers, as you can see him get hit while he throws.
Especially in rhythm, those outside the number throws. He's done a really nice job all day.
15 yards to Greg Ward. Back-to-back chunk plays. They've got it now at the 43.
Ready, go.
Movement early. This time it is Ward taking off.
Ball starts. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
They call it on Marquez Stevenson instead.
Blue check dose X9 on 1. Ready?
If you're San Antonio, you obviously want points here, but you feel like you just need to get something going to go into the locker room feeling good about your offense right now.
Yeah, especially because of the stop and start nature because of these penalties.
Here's Mond to throw along the sideline. Harris made the adjustment. There's a flag on the play, but they call it a catch. But it's going to come back. They're going to call him for the push-off.
Pass interference. Offense, number 16. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's still first down.
Mond has had a little success going to the back shoulder, in particular to Jacob Harris, but watch as he's working again against Jaden Price, and he just shoves him out of the way, and you get that extension, and you can see Price falling off of the coverage, and the flag's out immediately. You extend that arm, and you're going to get called.
Wide sail on one, ready? Gray. Sail. Here we go. Turn down. Ready, ready, go.
Penalty backs him to the 29. Over the middle, overthrows everybody, incomplete.
Second and whatever. Hey, try to get half of this back. You with me on this? Let's go turbo, turbo, prop, tripped right up, teal, prop, dose, teal, prop, dose.
Hey, trips right up. Teal, prop, dose on one. Ready? Yes.
All right, second and 25. You heard A.J. Smith say get half of it back.
Here we go. Down, down, down.
He's looking for a 12 or 13-yard play at least. They get nothing. Incomplete, intended for Kirkland.
Yeah, you're right. Here we go. Or just trips right, Detroit dog. Trips right, Detroit dog. Yeah, we're running. Here we go.
A.J. Smith has seen enough here. Arlington can't stop the clock. So this is basically an admission that they're just going to go in at halftime. Just run the ball here. That's what A.J. Smith told his other coaches.
Ready, ready, go. No!
They hand it off. Corbin. Big run by Corbin, however. Got across midfield.
Well, now you call a timeout.
I was going to say, you got 4 yards now on 4th down. Do you change your mind? 21 yards on the run.
I know it's 4th down and it's risky, but you've got to at least
San Antonio.
give it a chance because Arlington gets the ball back right away. Well, this is... Listen, this is risky. There's no doubt. In order to get points, there's time to do that. There's 25 seconds.
Game clock operator. Please reset the game clock to 27 seconds. 2-7.
And remember, Devin, Donald De La Haye, he's got, I mean, Destroyer has a leg, you know, so you probably need to get this ball to the 38 to feel good about it. About 12 more yards.
Yeah, and Joe, I completely agree with going forward here because I feel like the San Antonio defense, they haven't played perfect, but I think they played good enough that with such little time, they won't allow Arlington to go down and get points. But this game can slip away. Like you said, Arlington gets the ball back coming out, and you don't want that.
Yeah, you just got to be very confident in what you're going to run here in this play call. And again, I always go back to this. I always think in these types of situations about players and not plays. You know, Kirkland hasn't really done anything yet. McFarland, you know, he hasn't really been a huge part of this series, but it looks like he's into the huddle now, number 41.
Yeah. D9 on one, ready?
Now, as a quarterback, you got to be sure here. You got to get this. You do not want to give the ball to Arlington here with 21 seconds left.
Yeah, rip 18.
They need to get the Arlington 46.
Hey, easy. Hey, Liz out. Liz. Here we go. Frisco. Ready, go.
Come on. Up top, Kirkland, the intended receiver. Was he inbounds? No. Had a step on Miles Dorn, but they couldn't make the completion inbounds, and they will turn it over on downs with 22 seconds left. And Arlington taking over the ball in San Antonio territory, but no timeouts.
Devin, this is one of my least favorite play calls in football, the 4th down fade. I can't stand it. It's windy down there. It's low percentage. Now you're giving the ball back, but it's not just that. You're giving the ball back at the 50 in a place and time in which they can still get points.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it needs to be your best play to get 4 yards. You need to make sure you get this because now you give this opportunity to an offense that has played well, right? They played really well. Now it's up to San Antonio's defense to make sure that they keep these safeties back, drive on things so that they can't get in position to kick a field goal.
And remember, a clock stops if you get a 1st down. And so Perez has to be outside of the numbers to get out of bounds if it's short of the sticks. But if it's past the sticks, he's got to get everybody up there quickly in order to spike the ball and stop the clock.
runs, throws incomplete.
Not a lot, 19 seconds, come on.
No, I just threw San Antonio's ball. Hey, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go triple left, C, H buzz.
No time.
50.
No timeout.
Okay. We're gonna go bounce. I want the F in the bender and a go outside. On to ready. Bench over there. Bench. Gotta go.
Is he letting Perez call the play?
Go out there. Go.
It sure sounded like. I think it is his play call.
Here's Perez. Throwing downfield. He's got a man, and he turns around and makes the catch. Tyler Vaughn's with a reception. There is a penalty marker back in the backfield.
He was past that line of scrimmage.
May have been
here.
Yes. All right. So that actually, we have an illegal forward pass. Fine. It's a 10-second runoff option. Illegal pass, a 10-second runoff option. Do you want it? Yes. All right.
Illegal forward pass. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The penalty includes a loss of down. It's third down. This also carries a 10-second runoff. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 second. After the game clock is set to 1 second, the clock will start on my signal.
Yeah, which means they better be ready to snap it right away, and they're not going to be able to. So that effectively ends the half.
Oh, take a knee. Yep.
And so that's how the first half will end.
There you go. Get set, everyone.
Arlington content to go into the locker room with a 16-3 lead in a game their offense, particularly their running game, has come out of the gate strong. First week of the UFL season, first game for these two teams. And Luis Perez and company won 3 of their last 4 at the end of the last season, so trying to continue that momentum starting the new year.
Yeah, and early, that run game was terrific. There's no doubt. But, late in that half, it got a little sloppy, and I'm sure they'll have that to talk about at halftime.
Let's check in with Devin.
Coach, this first half, from the outside looking in, very consistent. What did you see out there?
Yeah, happy with the offense. We've run the football really well. Luis has made some good plays throwing it. Little displeased with some of the procedures. We've hurt ourselves a little bit that way. And then defense is really doing a good job holding these guys to 3 points.
Luis talked about in the offseason how he wanted to become more mobile and be able to help the team with his legs when he can. What have you seen from him, and how do you like those nice runs he's had?
Yeah, he's definitely more mobile this year, and he's worked on it. And he's finding some nice space to buy himself some time and to pick up some first downs running the ball.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right, thanks, Devin.
All right, Perez, yeah, he's run the ball, but not nearly as well as the guy who made our pod's big move of the day. That's Kalen Balaj. Breaking tackles, taking it 77 yards for the touchdown, and that 77-yarder, the longest run in the history of the UFL. It's our pod's big move of the day. At halftime from Arlington, the hometown Renegades. 2 touchdowns, a pair of 2-point conversions, and they are on top. 16-3. We'll be back to get you a look inside the locker rooms and more after this. Welcome back to the Progressive Halftime Report. Arlington with a 16-3 lead here at home in their opening game of the second UFL season. Well, one of the great things about the UFL is its innovation and its ability to try out new rules just to see how they work. There are a few new ones this year that we want to catch you up on. Dean Blandino does the honors.
For the 2025 season, the UFL continues to innovate when it comes to rules. We have 2 major rule changes for the upcoming season. The first change involves the kickoff. The kicker is moving back to the 30-yard line, and the remaining 10 players from the kicking team will be lined up on the receiving team's 40-yard line. At least 9 players from the receiving team are lined up in the setup zone from their 35-yard line to the 30-yard line. The ball must reach the receiving team's 20-yard line to start the play. And once it's touched or hits the ground, all players are free to block, run, and tackle. If the ball is kicked through the end zone, the ball comes out to the receiving team's 35-yard line. If the ball hits the ground and then goes into the end zone for a touchback, it comes out to the receiving team's 20-yard line. More returns, more excitement, and more fun. The second change, the Coach's Challenge. In 2024, the UFL became the first football league to allow coaches to challenge any officiating ruling once per game. In 2025, we are doubling down and allowing a head coach a second challenge if they win their first. Maximum of 2 per game, and they must have a timeout remaining. No restrictions, no limitations, nothing is off the table. If a coach thinks a decision is incorrect, they can challenge it, win, and they can do it again. These rules will ensure the game is decided by both teams on the field without any officiating controversy. This is the UFL.
Welcome back to the Progressive Halftime Show here in Arlington as the hometown Renegades up on San Antonio, 16-3 here at the break. Well, it was really all Renegades early. The run game was solid with Kalen Ballage, the new addition from the offseason, really wreaking havoc in this game. He's already got over 100 yards on the ground, and this Arlington team jumped out to an early lead, 8-0. This is how they did it. It was Davion Smith capitalizing after Ballage and company had gotten them down the field, and the Renegades were up 8-0. They were driving for another score, but Corey Mayfield Jr., terrific interception, kind of came from nowhere on the backside. I don't think Perez actually saw him, snuck under the tight end Sal Cannella, and Mayfield Jr. got a pick, and that allowed San Antonio to go down the field, and Donald De La Haye destroying. That's right. He and his millions of YouTube subscribers are happy he got on the field. Nice field goal there. And right away, subsequent drive, Kalen Ballage, 77-yard touchdown run. That's the longest touchdown run in UFL history. And Ballage, well over 100 yards already on the ground. And you can see that's a big reason why the Renegades are winning this ball game. A little bit sloppy towards the end of the second quarter with a lot of penalties on both sides, but it's been the ground game from Arlington that has been the difference. Those 150 yards led by Ballage are a big reason why they have a lead, and that's going to need to change if you're from San Antonio. That defense has got to get it together. So we will be right back with the second half kick. Arlington getting the ball to start the second half. It'll be Perez, Ballage, and Bob Stoops' team with the ball when we come back.
Welcome back to the UFL Kickoff Weekend, brought to you by New Era. Arlington with a 16-3 lead here over San Antonio at halftime. You talked about it, Joel. 150 yards rushing for Arlington in the first half, obviously, alone. Why were they so successful?
Well, first, San Antonio came into this game, and they were defending last year's Renegades that led the UFL in passing. Luis Perez did a great job throwing the football, and so they came in and they let their run box defend the run. What do I mean by that? Well, they only had 7 guys down while Arlington had 7 guys to block. So the Renegades had run numbers, and they took advantage of that. There's some successful runs early. They also used movement. Watch right here. You see that motion? It pulls people out of the backside, which allows those little cutback lanes that Ballage was able to get down the middle of the field with, and then it became physicality and speed. Runs through the tackle of the safety, and then he runs all the way for a touchdown. So really a combination of things. Some of it is scheme, and then the other is just individual effort, and really, to be honest with you, physical effort from Kalen Ballage.
That guy right there is the difference maker. You expect more of the same here to start?
I do. That's when they were the most successful, Kurt, is when they were running the football early. When they got away from that, it got a little bit sloppy, in particular with penalties. If they can get away from that and stay clean, they could get back to the run game and be much more successful on offense. I would expect that here early in this third quarter on their first series.
And they get the ball here to start the second half. Kellen Mond and San Antonio, really not much going in that first half offensively. Their defense, despite giving up the 2 touchdowns, one was on that long run. But they've kept them in this game.
Yeah, they have, and you would expect that from that defense, which last year was the best defense in the league by quite a margin. And now that defense is going to have to really play well here early if they can get in there and stop the run. I want you to watch out for the change in scheme, because what Wade Phillips and company are going to do at halftime, I believe that they're going to go into the second half and say, we have to stop the run first, which means that you're probably going to have a lot of one-on-one coverage in the passing game. They're going to have one safety back. They're going to have one-on-ones against guys like Sal Cannella and Tyler Vaughn's trying to stop the run from Balaj.
Price with the return. Out to about the 29-yard line. Devin Gardner.
A bit of a slow start in the first half, but it has to feel good to be back out there. What'd you see?
Yeah, it feels really good to obviously be back. You know, we talked about being able to handle adversity. You know, it's week one. You haven't had to handle any adversity. A lot of us still coming together. You know, missed a throw on early downs in the first quarter. You know, missed routes, missed depth. So we just got to kind of settle down, find completions, and then find ways to move the ball.
Was that the conversation at half, the details, figuring out to iron those things out so you can move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the small details, and then, you know, whenever we convert, you know, we can't have those penalties when, you know, when we get down in the red zone. So when we get down there, we got to put, you know, 7 and put touchdowns on the board.
Good luck the rest of the game.
Appreciate you.
Here's Kalen Balaj with the run.
Well, Balaj is the guy that they're going to try to feature, you know, and you can expect that. But again, a much heavier defensive run front from San Antonio to start. You see the leaders from the first half: Perez, 9 of 12, Balaj with the big half, 6 rushes for 105, Sal Cannella with a couple of those grabs, 36 yards. And the focal point for San Antonio is going to have to be the run game. But look at this, Arlington now, nobody in the backfield with Perez, empty backfield.
On 2nd and 7, Perez, quick pass out to his tight end. Good tackle in the open field against Sal Cannella, made by Darius Phillips.
Well, this is exactly what you need defensively, right? I mean, Arlington had the ball late in the half. We talked about this middle section of the game. They're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. This would be a really big stop for them from a mental standpoint, providing some energy for that sidelines on the opposite side.
Go out, come back in, hurry.
So here we go on 3rd down.
Hurry up, hurry up.
Balaj shifts back. Perez, a little sidearm and overthrows Cannella, incomplete, and San Antonio does get that stop to start this second half.
Little pressure by Garrett Nelson, 97, and now Kellen Mond and company are going to get a chance to get right back on the field. Great job by San Antonio. First of all, Perez is trying to get out to the outside, and they have just a little bit of a stunt. There was Nelson with the pressure, number 97, and he just couldn't get the ball to Sal Cannella on time and on target, and they'll have to punt it away.
Marquette King on to punt. Marquez Stevenson back deep. False start. They'll back him up a little bit more.
False start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
Well, Arlington looked so good for, you know, really a quarter and a half.
Right.
And then they started falling apart from a mental standpoint. And it should be noted that this is a team that started 0-6 last year in 2024. But when you look at that start, it was small little things that were beating them. In fact, in 3 of those games in their 0-6 start, they ended up getting beat by a field goal as time expired. You know, so situational football, staying clean, these are things that Bob Stoops and his group have got to focus on.
And avoid the penalties, which really banged them at the end of the first half. Good punt by King. Stevenson got a little lost, scoops it up, and he's going to be stopped and knocked out of bounds before he got to the 20, 67 yards on the punt by King.
And we've seen a couple of big punts on each side this week already.
Multiples over 60. And so, Kellen Mond and San Antonio will get their first shot here in the second half.
Well, you look at the offensive leaders of the first half. Mond was 8 of 16. It was a bit hit or miss. McFarland was really their spark plug. The one series that they got him those 3 touches for 32 yards, they went down the field for a score. And then Jacob Harris was the main target on the outside, 3 targets for 44 yards. But, you know, you think about this offense, and Mon needs to look at McFarland, Kirkland, and John Lovett.
Starting from the 20. They hand it off to John Lovett. Not much there.
This is reminding me a lot of last night. You know, and in that, I thought that Houston struggled running the football, but there wasn't any creativity with the run game, Kurt. You know, and what you've seen from Arlington, you see all those like motions, and you've got the jet motions that are holding the backside and messing with the eyes and the discipline of the defense. Meanwhile, San Antonio, they're just static. There's no movement, and then that handing off is not forcing the defense to play with any sort of discipline from an eye perspective.
Yeah, you see it on that play right there as they get a little short gain to Greg Ward, but not a whole lot going on. Basically line up, run the play.
Okay, give me this. Go blue check Florida, 7 Hank. Blue check Florida, 7 Hank.
Here we go. Hey, blue check 7 Hank on 1. Ready? Peel. Here we go. Hey, Florida. Yep. Here we go. Ready, go.
On 3rd and 7. Mon. Incomplete, intended for John Lovett. And San Antonio gets a defensive stop and then goes 3 and out.
Good pressure from Arlington. They just blitzed the middle linebacker right here. So you're going to just get a blitz right here. And a nice job from the tackle of getting inside. And then that allows Donald Payne, 18, to get in the face of Mond. And he didn't have time to allow John Lovett to come out of that route and create space. So the Renegades get off the field here early on their first defensive series.
Brad Wing, the former Giant, New York Giant, on the punt. Jaden Price back deep. That's way short. So after seeing all those 60-yard punts, that one only goes 33 yards. That'll be good starting field position for Perez and company as they take it over for the second time here in the second half, still holding on to that 16-3 lead. That was today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. Luis Perez, 10 of 14 so far. Yeah, that one interception, it's really been the run game that's been the difference for Arlington thus far as they take it over for the second time here in the third quarter at the 44-yard line.
Sit up with 80. Sit hut. We're good. Turbo, sit up.
Play fake. And that's Winstead, Isaiah Winstead with the reception.
I love the adjustment this defense has made. So they've gone to one safety deep in the middle of the field. Kurt, anytime that you just see one single safety deep in the middle of the field, that means, just by the numbers, that you can't block everybody in the run front if you're the offense. So because of Kalen Balage's success in the first half, when they're getting the run formations and personnel groups, they're playing with one safety and putting an extra guy down low.
No gain on that last throw. And they hand it off. Day-Day Hunter gets stopped right away. And now they've got a long third down to look at.
Yeah, and these defensive linemen have played a lot better as well. That was Rashard Lawrence. He was a 4th-round pick by Arizona back in 2020, and he's a 308-pounder and nimble on that last play. And you can see he's feeling it here, jawing at that offensive line as they get set for 3rd and 9.
Get set, Sal. Turbo, sit up.
Pressure coming. Perez finds an open receiver, Tyler Vaughn, and Vaughn picks up the first down. Getting into San Antonio territory, 12 yards on the reception.
Well, this is a nice job by Perez of anticipating this window, so you're going to get a hook route right here on the right side, and he just has to come up there and make sure that no linebacker is running underneath that, and he was able to find his wide receiver.
First down. Another play fake. Canella dances out for a gain of 4.
Well, now the adjustment has to go back on Arlington. Okay, if San Antonio is going to adjust their structure and try to stop the run, well, what does that mean? Well, it means that there's one-on-ones on the outside. So now your guys, the skill position players on the outside, have to win for Arlington. Okay, this is now the onus on these wide receivers. Tyler Vaughns, Peyton, Isaiah Winstead, Deontay Burnett. You got to go out there and win these one-on-one battles.
The handoff, Day Hunter. Trying to get back to that run game, but Jordan Williams making the stop. 3 yards on the pickup.
D1 Haas, F-Jerk.
Dixie left, 8-8, 50, Haas, F-Jerk on Daytona, ready? Go. Go now, go now, go now.
On 3rd and 4.
Rona. Terrible tonight.
I think someone came early.
Yeah.
Garrett Nelson.
Yeah, that's fine. We're good with 97.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 97. The 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
So that's a big penalty. 3rd and 4. Jump off sides, give him 5 and a first.
Great job using the cadence by Perez, and Garrett Nelson jumped way offside. Like,
just a little bit early.
Does anyone see me back here in this highlighter colored jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can I be invisible in yellow? The little end around. Peyton. And Javante Peyton down inside the 20. And another first down for Arlington, and another double-digit play for 12.
Well, nice little wrinkle here from Chuck Long. So you're going to fake the inside handoff to Day Hunter right there, and then you're going to try to spin around and just get an athlete the ball in space. It looked clunky on the inside until you realize that Peyton's out there with some room to run.
Pass outside, Burnett. Stepped out of bounds right at the 12-yard line. And now Perez and this offense starting to get rolling again.
Well, and again, those one-on-ones on the outside, right? So the defense is packed on the interior, Kurt. They're focused on the run game. And so now everything is a little play fake and then the ball on the outside to try to exploit a one-on-one and get the ball in space with your athletes. So Chuck Long has done a great job adjusting to the adjustment of the San Antonio defense from halftime.
Hey, get set, hurry up, Tate.
8 yards on the first down play. Perez keeps it and threw it behind Peyton, incomplete.
You know, this sounds crazy. That's smart. He basically threw it away. He just threw it at his back, because if that's completed, then Javante Payton's going to get rocked, and there's nowhere to go. You know, and so at this point, you've got that little fake right there. You can try to complete it, and he's like, nope, I don't like that. And he just chucks it as hard as he can at his back hip and just kind of burns the ball. It's a smart decision by Perez.
The quarterback happy with an incompletion there, huh?
Well, some of us are.
Live another down, right? Tight end Sal Cannella lined up at fullback. And they pitch it to Hunter. Can he get around the edge? No, but there's a face mask. And so flags come flying from everywhere as Lonnie Phelps reached out and grabbed Hunter by the face mask. Easy and obvious call here.
You're going to the field, right? Going to the field? All right. Cool.
No doubt about it. First down, Renegades. It should be noted, you know, there's not a lot of love lost between these two teams.
They got into it pregame.
Face mask. Defense, number 47. By rule, the ball he placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic. First down.
Now, these two teams got into a little scuffle during warm-ups pregame. Their fans have what they call the I-35 trophy, so there's a bit of a rivalry between San Antonio and Arlington.
That's right. He yanks the face mask, and then he stands up and just shoves the offensive lineman coming in. So Lonnie Phelps, he just wanted all the smoke right there. He just is like, let's go.
I've gotten the flag already. May as well go for it all, right?
That's right.
First and goal. Hunter stopped. Tried to cut it back inside, but a good job on the coverage. Jordan Mosley.
You know, last time that they got down to this area of the field, they went with a different package of players, including a different quarterback. They're going to do it again here. Holton Ahlers is going to come into the game, number 15. All the running backs.
Number 75 for Arlington is reporting as eligible. Number 71
all the running backs
for Arlington is also reporting as eligible. Number 71.
So you got extra offensive linemen. You've got a tight end in the middle of the running back formation. You've got Davion Smith as well as Kalen Blage in the backfield.
And they hand it off to Smith again, just like they did the last time in that formation. But this time, they check it and he's in. Touchdown, Davion Smith, his second of the game.
Davion Smith, 2 snaps, 2 touchdowns today for Arlington.
Efficient.
Yeah, same exact play as the first one, and looked like he was just reaching for that end zone as he got close. Smith is a big back. Again, just signed a couple of weeks ago. And it looks like, yeah, right before he gets down, far official, perfect position, staring right down the goal line.
We got to get him rolling out.
An 11-play drive, and they convert the touchdown. And you mentioned Smith being signed after training camp began.
Falcon left, tight, A-H, Bud.
He was with this team last season, however, so familiar with the playbook, and they're familiar with him.
Oh, hey, hold on. No, left hash. No, we're good. Left hash. It's a left hash call. The left hash call. Yes. They confirmed it? We're good.
Trying to confirm that touchdown. We're not hearing the official Brian Banks right now, but I believe that's the announcement he's trying to make.
No.
After review, the ruling on the field of the touchdown stands.
All scoring plays automatically reviewed, so he's saying they did take a look at it, and they did confirm it. And so Smith officially gets his second touchdown, and they'll try to go for 2 points again.
Let's go.
And that's one of the things we've been able to see with this league now that it's been around for a couple of years. You mentioned Davion Smith coming in late, but it's okay that he knows the offense, they know him. Instead of just grabbing guys before, now you're able to kind of build and go consistently from year to year.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And Arlington's been great on 2-point plays today. They were great last year. We'll see if that continues.
Kalen Blage in the backfield. Perez looking to throw. They got it. Deontay Burnett, his second 2-point conversion of the day. Third one overall, and every time Arlington has put a touchdown on the board, they've added 2 more, and they lead it now 24-3.
It's been all Perez and the Renegades so far. Beautiful throw on the 2-point attempt to Burnett. The Renegades putting it on San Antonio, 24-3 here at home in the opener. Spring King.
Today's game is sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. And by Dr. Pepper. Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar today.
Well, Luis Perez, the Spring King. He is an author now And Luis Perez just released a book, and this was the book. It's #1 right now on Amazon. He got us copies up here, Kurt, and I got to tell you, it's been a great read. I was reading a little bit of it last night, and guess what? Everybody on the field also reading the book. Look at this. A little A.J. Brown action on the sideline.
A.J.'s got nothing on this team, right?
Devin, the whole team out there reading the book up there, aren't they? That's incredible. Yeah, exactly. That's so good.
It came out on Thursday and went right to #1 on the new books on Amazon. And I think San Antonio maybe needs to read a new playbook. They need something going on.
You know, I do want to say, though, this book from Luis, I want to read just a quick excerpt of it because I think it shows you that it's more about the journey and in particular the belief in yourself. He was redshirting at Texas A&M Commerce. He's not playing in any games, just practices. And then we go to the playoffs and we're playing at Michigan, playing Ferris State. They are limited in travel, and obviously he's not playing, so he's not on the travel roster. He hops in a pickup with 2 guys on the team, and they drive themselves through a blizzard all the way up to Ferris State just to be there and root on their teammates. That's the type of teammate and person Luis Perez is. That's an excerpt from the book about his time playing college football. And that one struck me, and it struck me as the type of guy he is, because every time, Kurt, that we've been able to talk to him, he talks about envisioning and preparing himself for success, whether it's happening currently or not.
Right.
And that's always been something that's impressed me about Perez.
And Perez has had opportunities, signed with the Rams for a bit, with the Chargers last season after leading the UFL in passing. Harris can't make the grab, but we talk about Perez, and he is called the Spring King because of all the leagues we talked about he played at. And we first met him back in 2020 in the original reiteration, if you will, of the XFL, and he's always been preparing for the next step, but he's always been a guy who's had success where he is.
Yeah, and Devin, I know you work a lot with kids now, and high school players, and I think what I don't want to be the old guy, but I think what people see now because of social media is finished products a lot and end results. But this book is more about the journey, and that's what I love about it, because as you know, you and I both know this, like to play college, football at a high level or professional football at a high level, it is a long and winding road filled with potholes and successes. And Devin, I know that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 100% peaks and valleys, and more specifically playing quarterback, right? I think it's the greatest microcosm to show you how to live a life, right? How to understand about success and failure. No matter how talented you are, no matter how perfect you think you are, there's going to be failure, especially growing up being a quarterback. And you get a chance to live that, and it sets you up for what I believe is what football was intended for. It sets you up for life, and Luis is living it right now.
I would also suggest, from a quarterback perspective, Devin, maximum accountability.
Oh, yeah.
You know that when things go well, you're trying to deflect praise, and it's we. And when things don't go well, it's I. It can't be the opposite at quarterback.
And you see sometimes it's the opposite, and it never works out.
That's
well.
right.
And it's a matter of taking advantage of the opportunities you get. And we've talked about Luis Perez doing this. Kurt Warner's in the Hall of Fame playing in the Spring League, NFL Europe. Jake Delhomme got to the Super Bowl playing through NFL Europe. John Kitna, it's not a linear path for so many guys.
Tom Brady's drafted late.
6th round.
Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant. You got to have belief in yourself, certainly, but you also have to be unafraid of the hardships of the path to be great. And I think Perez embodies that. And that's why I love that book. I really do. And I can't wait to read more of it on my way home tonight.
All right, we drew a flag here, pass intended for Jontre Kirkland. Jaden Price going to get flagged for the coverage. And San Antonio finally getting a little bit of a rhythm here.
23.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
There's that pass interference. We've seen this battle on the outside all day long. And we've seen Jaden Price, number 23, be locked up with Jacob Harris on the opposite side, that time with Kirkland. Price grabbing that opposite shoulder and preventing Kirkland from getting back to that ball and making a play for a catch. Quality series here, as we've been talking about the book and quarterback play from Perez. Mond responds, with their best series here for San Antonio.
You talk about staying in there and keeping the battle going, trying to overcome adversity.
Are you in a box or no? No, you're not.
This has been one of their best drives of the day, if not the best.
Are you?
The ball we place at the 25-yard line. 2-5, 25.
A little housekeeping going on, so it'll be first down from the 25.
Hey, key two. He said you.
And we're now set to go.
You got it, Speedy? Yeah. Ready, go.
McFarland out to Greg Ward. And Ward picks up 5 yards on the first.
Plenty of time in this game. You've got a quality series here, and what I've liked about it is it hasn't felt panicked. Now, they've had a sense of urgency, but it hasn't felt rushed, Kurt, and I think that this has clearly been their best series since the series where they got the ball to McFarland a few times and ended up kicking a field goal.
Ready, go. Hard.
Mon pulls it down, runs. Fell forward. There's a late flag down as well during the run.
Holding. Offense, number 21. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's still second down.
Someone mis-ID'd. 21 is William Hooper on their defense.
On player number 41. Correction.
41 McFarland. There you go.
41.
Here we go. Hey, red check. X switch.
There's McFarland right there. And as he's blocking the linebacker, he just hugs him. And as Mond takes off, that's Donald Payne. And he was holding Payne, who was the sack leader for the Renegades last year. A really solid player in there, a linebacker.
Mond brought down from behind. Willie Taylor with the sack. And they're going to throw a flag. Was this a horse collar? That's the question. Remember, you can grab the jersey, but you can't grab inside around those shoulder pads.
There is no foul for a horse collar tackle. The passer's in the pocket. It's third down.
Mike Pereira?
Yeah, that's the right decision to make. And actually, we do have guys in the development league with the NFL that are still working college. This is a foul in college, but under NFL rules, which we're playing right now, quarterback in the pocket, it is not a foul to grab him inside the collar and pull him down.
And sometimes instincts take over. Brian Banks, our white hat today, he's a college official, Mike, and a good one at that, that I see on a lot of different Saturdays. And so I'm sure it was reflexes for him.
That's why they have us in here, I guess, so we can be an aid to him.
That's right.
It's working. Here's Mon over the middle for Ward, and it's broken up. Joe Powell swats it down.
It's good coverage.
Big play, because that was enough for a first down. Instead, it's 4th and long.
Yeah, that's a solid attempt right there from San Antonio to try to drive that ball down the middle of the field, but just good coverage. And this secondary has been really good for Bob Stoops. It's not a defense that played great last year. To be honest, they tried to beat everybody throwing the football, and they were in tight games late, and they couldn't get a lot of good stops, in particular in crunch time late last year, and lost a bunch of games on last-second field goals. But today it's been a different story.
Donald De La Haye misses it wide left from 56 yards away. So San Antonio, with one of their best drives of the day, they come up empty. UFL kickoff weekend continues tomorrow with a doubleheader on ESPN. Starting at noon Eastern, it's Michigan against Memphis, followed by two-time defending champion Birmingham. They won 3 in a row if you count all leagues. They score off with DC. Then on Friday, we'll kick off week 2 in prime time with Birmingham taking on Michigan, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on Fox.
I love the dominance that Birmingham has had in spring football, but also the influence, Kurt, that they have clearly had on the league. And what's fascinating to me, though, is that Arlington is really the only team that's pushed against that and said, no, we're not going to go mobile quarterback. We're going to stay with Perez, and we're going to lean into trying to be more complete as a rushing football team with Balaj, and that has worked here at least today. Except for the penalties.
Yeah, that's about the only problem they've had.
Penalties. It's been totally messy.
63, 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
And that's Ricky Lee's second penalty he's had, and a lot of it has been their offensive line.
Now over 10 penalties for Arlington, so they're going to have to clean that up. And last season they had 6. That was 4th, right about the middle, but they struggled with that early in the year, which is part of the reason Bob Stoops' team was 0-6 in their first 6 games.
Here's Perez. Quick pass out to Canella. Canella gains 5. And that should take us to the end of the third quarter. Arlington scored first and last. Not much in between for San Antonio either. It's 24-3 going into the final stanza. Back here on UFL Kickoff Weekend, brought to you by New Era in Arlington, Texas, where the Arlington Renegades have a 24-3 lead over the visiting San Antonio Brahmas. 3 rushing touchdowns in this game for Arlington and 3 two-point conversions.
And the offense has done such a good job being balanced and more specifically controlling the game on the ground.
Start this fourth quarter with a 2nd and 10. Kalen Balaj goes in motion. Movement again.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
And that's the second time Garrett Nelson's been pulled off by the hard count of Perez.
Yep, and Perez has a bit of a, I would say, unique cadence. And as a defender, you've got to get used to it, certainly. But there's a bit of hesitation in it, which is not normal. And that's why every time we've done these Arlington games, you know, they draw the defense offside more than most.
Kalen Balaj lowers his shoulder. Flags come flying everywhere on that play.
You better go low, because if you go high, boy, that's your ass. You know that.
Oh, Balaj talking a little smack.
Holding. Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's still second down.
Ricky Lee, the left tackle again. 3rd time we've called his name.
You know, if I'm Bob Stoops, there is so much to clean up.
Yeah.
I know 24-3 is going to, it feels good, but with a whole quarter left to go as a head coach, you got to be thinking to yourself, you know, we were up in the fourth quarter several times last year and lost on last-second kicks. And all Arlington has done really is allowed that possibility to stay there for San Antonio via this sloppy play.
If San Antonio can get anything going offensively, which they haven't thus far. Pass caught over the middle by Isaiah Winstead. Gets it back to original line of scrimmage. And you talked about last year and those tough losses that Bob Stoops and company encountered.
3 blown fourth quarter leads, 3 losses coming on the last second game-winning field goals by their opponents, 2 losses by 1 point each. Their average margin was just under 6. You know, they finished 3-7. That easily could have been 6-4 or even 7-3, totally flipped. But part of that is situations and playing disciplined football.
And here to avoid the play clock running out, they call a timeout.
Timeout, Arlington. It's their first of the half.
So just over a minute into the fourth quarter, Arlington trying to find a way to settle down and put this game away. Later on tonight, it is baseball night in America. You can catch the Mets' newly minted superstar Juan Soto as he leads New York against Jose Altuve and the Astros. If you don't get that game, you'll get the Braves taking on the Padres. Baseball night in America is next on Fox. Check the local listings for the game in your area. $13:52 to go here in Arlington, where right across the street, just a couple years ago, the Rangers celebrated a world championship.
Here we go. Hey, we're going triple. Listen up. Triple left tight. Okay, we're going to go 62. Y bounce. X swirl. On to ready. Yes, yes. Go out. Hurry. Go out, KB. All the way. Here you go. Here you go. Here we go. Terrible, sit up.
Perez to Balazs out of the backfield, and he gets the first down. Just enough yardage right across the marker to move the chains.
Yeah, I love his ability to catch it out of the backfield. It's one of the things that I think makes the running back position, the modern running back, so dangerous is when a guy is versatile, and you can see he's just totally lost by the defense. You know, the defense loses track of Balazs. And as Perez is reading through his progression, he just sees like, hey, I got my check down available right away. And a lot of times as a quarterback, you're not going to have your feet under you. You got to dump the ball down. Devaney did a nice job there finding Balazs.
His first reception, good for 9 yards and a first. The pitch to the tight end who throws it. Seth Green, but he threw it too high, out of bounds, incomplete. Sal Cannella. They're trying to go tight end to tight end. It didn't work on that play.
You know, there's just no reason for that.
It's hard to argue.
I'm the old guy shouting at the clouds, and I understand that. And, you know, I like creativity, but creativity that's not silliness, you know, from an offensive perspective. That's silly. And you burn it down on a drive in which you can kind of put the game away. 24-3 in the UFL is not put away with 12 minutes and 51 seconds left. So every down has to matter. It has to be of value to you, and that last play call was not of value.
Perez. Tyler Vaughns makes a move, gets back inside, and gets another first down for Arlington.
Good move after the catch, wasn't it?
14 yards.
You know, Devin, Tyler Vaughns is a guy that I still
think
There's a flag
coming.
Okay, is the chippiness coming? Yeah, there's the chippiness.
You can see it, Bo Peep Keys not liking Vaughn standing over him and giving a little headbutt when he stands up.
That's a good move right there, getting back inside. Vaughns is able to get the first down, and then all the extracurricular after the snap.
Foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That's on Bo Peep Keys.
Hey, Joel, we have to remember, you made a really intriguing point earlier. I don't think San Antonio expected for Arlington to run the ball the way they did earlier, right? But we can't forget, this is a team that passes the ball very efficiently, very well. Their quarterback, obviously, Luis Perez. We've talked about him at nauseum, his mind and how he plays the game. But these receivers are extremely talented, and you saw an example of that. If they need to get back into the pass game, they can do it with ease.
After the penalty, ball at the 14. Perez down inside the 5-yard line. Deontay Burnett with the reception.
Well, this is a great example right here. Devin is a quarterback that sees that he's got defenders coming right here. So what is he going to do? He's going to attack behind him after the quick play-action fake, and he's able to get that ball to his wide receiver, Burnett. Maybe a touch high if you're being picky, and that's why Burnett has to come down and kind of huddle around that ball as he thinks that the safety might be there for contact. Nice play right there, and quick hands and read from Perez.
First and goal from the 3.
Good set. Stop right there. Stop. Terrible. Sit up.
Balazs stopped right inside the 1-yard line.
Very close there. Balaj just wants the ball again. Just give it to him again. Line up quickly and do that. There's just almost into the end zone, but that forearm was down, and they'll line up quickly.
No, we're good. No.
And officials are holding him up.
Here we go. No, timeout.
With the play clock winding down, Arlington calling a timeout inside the 1 yard line, trying to put this game away. Up 24-3. All right, inside the 1 yard line, the Renegades with 10:47 left to go, up 24-3, and trying to add on to it and seal this game away if they can. Balaj stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Lonnie Phelps, the first guy to get there, and no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Now they'll go with that big group. Holt Naylor's in the ball game at quarterback. Perez will come out. Davion Smith into the game. Extra offensive linemen. All the running backs. This has gone to Smith each of the previous 2 times. I wonder if they go the opposite direction here and try to get Balaj the touchdown.
Try to do something different. Nope. Smith cuts it back. San Antonio ready for it, but they don't stop him before he gets into the end zone. 3 for 3. Davion Smith on that play exactly with 3 touchdowns.
3 snaps, 3 touchdowns for Davion Smith. And we talk about copying the Birmingham Stallions, the 3-time champions. We've all been talking about the mobile quarterback. Well, how about this formation? The T formation. This is what the Stallions have used the last few years to win those championships. And now the Renegades using the T formation. And Smith in with his 3rd touchdown of the night. And it's all Renegades against San Antonio. And I got to tell you, it's hard to say you're shocked, but this San Antonio team I thought was going to be much better defensively. They only gave up more than 20 points twice the entire season a year ago. And here's Arlington over 30. This offense has been clicking on all cylinders.
Z-stick spacing on the quick. Ready?
They've converted the 2-point attempt each of the first 3 times they've scored. They go for it again on the 4th. This time Seth Green gets wrapped up. Bo Pete Keys stops him, and that'll hold it to a 30-3 lead. Davion Smith, 3 carries, 3 yards, 3 scores. Can you win Player of the Week?
Does he have the volume for Player of the Week? We shall see.
He's got the touchdowns. Today's game is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. And by Allstate, you're in good hands. 30-3, the Renegades now with the lead. They've been on track all game, if you will. Look at Davion Smith. He's come in for those specialty plays from the 1 yard line 3 times and scored a touchdown all 3. Here's Anthony McFarland. Out across the 30, Devin Gardner with the potential Player of the Week.
Yeah, you guys, 30-3, 3 days of practice, 3 carries, 3 touchdowns. In a baseball stadium, you're batting 1,000. How?
The man above, man. The coaches believing in me, bringing me back. So I know as soon as I touch that ball, I got to get in the end zones. You never know when that'll be my last opportunity, so I'm taking full advantage of it.
The guys upstairs were suggesting that maybe they go a different direction, but me, as a former Wolverine, was rooting for my former Wolverine brother to get in the end zone. What do you got to say to Joel?
Ready, go.
Hey, Joel, it's crazy because we've done interviews before at Michigan, but it's cool. 3 for 3 right now.
Right.
Hopefully we got enough time. I might get some burn and I might try to get in.
Hey, he's going for the quad. He's going for the quad.
Thanks,
oh, man. No, hey, I remember covering Davion at Michigan. There's no doubt. I'm just saying, you know, Kalen Balaj, Devin, he could be like, 100 yards, 4 touchdowns. I don't know.
You know, but he's a Wolverine. You got to get that Wolverine in the end zone.
Is that right?
Sharing the wealth. That's what they're doing. Davion Smith did come in late, and we've talked about that repeatedly. And one of the reasons not only being able to run the ball like that in short yardage situations, but Bob Stoops told us he's just a good locker room guy.
That's right.
And you need those.
And you can tell, and we talked about this last night with that St. Louis team, that the culture has taken effect. There's a lot of guys now in this Arlington organization that have been here for the last few years. And so Bob's culture, the Stoops culture has taken hold here, led by Luis Perez and others. And you can tell, and defensively they've been great. The offensive line has played well. And Devin, you made a great point during the commercial. We were talking, and I'd love you to expand on this because you talked about the wide receivers today for Arlington.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the sideline, and these are wide receivers that are used to catching passes, right? And me and you, we've both experienced wide receivers who, if they don't get what they want, they are not the most pleasant beings to be around. But down here on the sideline, they are as excited for their teammates in the defense and the running game as they would be if they were catching all the passes, right? And I think that's allowed them to, on that last drive you saw, when they were called upon, they made every play. They made every single play, and it was really a beauty to see. That's what team football is about, and that's
Prior to the delay of game,
is
timeout,
building.
San Antonio. That's the first of the half. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
All right, and so they get the timeout just before the 4th down. In a few moments, viewers in select markets will be taken to the start of baseball coverage for the season debut of MLB on Fox. For those viewers, the conclusion of our San Antonio-Arlington game will be available on the Fox Sports app. Baseball can also be found on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. 8:21 to go here in Arlington. Kurt Menefee, Joel Klatt, Devin Gardner, and family, because our crew is our family. With you is Arlington. Holds on to this 30-3 lead. They have run the football. Their offensive line, outside of penalties, has played really well today.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You're up 30-3, and they're sitting here right now with 11 penalties. So Bob
Unusual,
Stoops can go in and coach his team hard this week. It's almost the
dream
best
scenario?
possible scenario for a head coach. Yeah,
especially first game of the season. Corbin spinning his way out to midfield. Good second effort made by the running back. Give him 9 yards.
Yeah, this San Antonio team, you transition to looking at them, and offensively, they need to find something. The last game that we broadcast in the UFL last year was the championship game. And listen, Birmingham played great, but San Antonio didn't score a point.
Right.
And they got shut out. And A.J. Smith before the game reminded me about that. And I was like, oh, that's right. It was a shutout. And then they come out here today and, 181 total yards and 3 points. This is not the showing that they wanted by any stretch of the imagination. So what's important for them in these last 7 minutes and 30 seconds is finding some success. What are we good at? Kellen Mond, what's the puzzle for him? We know he throws the ball well outside of the numbers. Should we incorporate some quarterback run? What does our line do better? How do we get players the ball in space? Do we need to be more creative with our formation and movement plan? These are all questions that you want to try to answer in the next 7 minutes and 30 seconds and put it on tape.
Mond going the other way after hitting Jontre Kirkland on the left side on the previous play. He hits him on the right side this time.
Joel, another thing that we haven't seen is movement of the pocket, right?
Yeah.
Getting the launch point moved outside of the pocket just so that the defense doesn't know exactly where he's going to be every time. There were a couple of plays where balls were batted down where the defensive line did a great job of reading quick game and essentially just jumping in the air, assuming that the ball will be thrown. And so just not allowing them to have a beat on what the quarterback's trying to do, I think will really help him as well.
Devin, are you surprised by that, considering how mobile Mond is?
I'm very surprised.
Well, not only that, but the point of Kellen Mond wasn't that he's just a good player, it's that he's a good quarterback that can run.
Right.
And then the game plan looked like it was built for a quarterback that doesn't run. So those two things need to marry, to Devin's point. And Devin, I think it's a really good one and a strong one, is that you've got to go and build the game plan to the strengths of your players. And I think that they'll watch this film and probably come to that conclusion as well.
Mond throws it up. Under pressure, just throws it away. Incomplete. Zuri Henry going to get called for another holding call.
Hey, did you see the catch down there?
No, I missed it.
Yeah,
I see who has the ball.
After the penalty. Watch this.
The previous spot, it's still first down.
Don't show me those hands just yet.
I saw him with the ball.
Look at him, proud and good. Look at this. Okay, here's Mond. Here's the throw. Where's our guy? With the microphone in the catch. Devin Gardner, well done, sir. Take a bow.
That's not caught like a guy who wears number 98. Come on.
Hey, man.
Impressive.
Oh, why did he hit you with the defensive lineman number? Oh, my goodness.
Here's Mon. Over the middle, John Lovett. And the running back takes it down inside the 15-yard line. It'll be a manageable second down here after the 16-yard gain.
But, Kurt, he's got the frame that can handle 98. You know, not only a double-digit number, but the double-width double-digit number. He's got the frame down there, right, Devin? Show him your frame.
No, I don't agree. No, not right, Joel. I'm not going to join in.
Timeout.
Hold on, please wait.
That's their third and final.
That's it.
It'll be
That's
30
it.
seconds in length.
That's right. You're looking good, man. I tell you what. You went with a more muted suit this year than you were wearing last year.
Oh,
you look good.
Yeah, just relax, okay, Joel?
You look great.
And you wondered why you got brought to the game today, huh? You're just fodder for us in case the game became a blowout.
He's the best. I love Devin. Oh.
All right, Arlington with a huge lead right now. And coming into the season, everybody chasing Birmingham, who's won 3 consecutive league championships, 2 in the USFL, and then last year the inaugural UFL title. St. Louis, the second favorite. This Arlington team way down the list. Quite a bit behind San Antonio, who's a team who played Birmingham for the championship last year.
Probably need to flip those at least, you know, because this Arlington team. And remember, they ended the season on such a high note. They finished 3-1. Offensively, they were scoring over 30 points per game in the last 4. They come out here 30 against San Antonio. The over-under right now is sitting at 39, and we've got 33 scored. So, listen, we got some meaningful snaps here ahead of us.
For Kellen Mond, too. He's going for it all right there. And it's broken up incomplete. Intended for Racy McMath. Jaden Price, whose name we've called quite a bit today, good and bad, broke it up.
Yeah, he got a couple penalties, but all in all, I feel like the coverage has been very good from Jaden Price. He's only 5'11", so they're trying to go upstairs right there with a big frame. McMath is 6'2", 211, and you can see Davion Smith, he wants him to get up there for an interception. And it's like Jaden Price doesn't quite have the hops. He doesn't quite have the ups that Davion Smith wants. But good coverage nonetheless.
Mond staying in the pocket. That tipped and still caught. That ball was deflected right into the hands of Greg Ward. I think Anjanae Harris was the guy who got it, but it's still 4th down here.
Well, those of you with the over like this call, going on forward on 4th down.
They hand it off. John Lovett gets the first down and more. In fact, he gets the touchdown. So if you're catering to that crowd,
this is a huge
exactly
conversion.
39 points right now.
I just really love the spin move right when he gets contacted here. You see the spin into the end zone as he gets away from the defender. Ajane Harris comes in, number 5, tries to stop him right at the 1, and he just kind of spins away and gets over the goal line. Lovett is a guy that they need to get more touches to. He has not been a huge part of this game plan. McFarland probably needs more touches. But this conversion, 3-point attempt. Oh, man. Everyone's sitting there like, just go for 1. They just want him to go for 1.
From the 10-yard line, 1 play to try to get 3 points. Mond threw it behind his receiver, Greg Ward, and it stays 30-9. 39 points. I don't think anybody's happy with that except Devin Gardner.
Completions for everybody.
San Antonio scored, and in the UFL, if you are down and you score, there is no onside kick, but you can go for a 4th and 12 play from scrimmage from the 28-yard line. You get it to the 40, you keep the ball, you come up short, you turn it over.
Ready, go!
So looking for the 40 to keep the ball. It hit as he throws Mon, and that just falls dead in the middle of the field. Donald Payne bringing the pain. Arlington takes it over.
Good pressure right here. They're going to bring this blitz, and he just gets right by the center, Tecklenburg. And Mon just didn't have anywhere to go with that ball. Got into that right arm and hit him before he could throw the football down the field. Good pressure from Arlington today. That defense has played awfully well. I know they gave up a score there, but that's a late series, you know.
Right.
They've been creative with their front structure. They've put pressure on Mon. They've tackled well. The secondary, I felt like, played very well.
And the guys up front have knocked down a couple of passes as well, getting their hands up. And Donald Payne, Chris Odom, 2 longtime sack guys in this league, have made their presence felt for that Arlington defense today as the offense tries to run out the clock with a 4-minute drill here.
Yeah, and Chris Odom is a guy that I think is going to need to be a big contributor. We mentioned just in passing, but they are replacing 2 defenders, this Arlington team. Vic Beasley led them in sacks. Jalen Redmond led them in tackles for loss, and then Redmond had a really good year with the Vikings as he went up there and played in 13 games for Minnesota.
Wound up getting a new contract this year.
Yeah, and now Chris Odom comes in. He was all UFL with Houston. Last year he had 8 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, and he's going to need to be really their best front player. You know, Donald Payne at linebacker, he needs to play well, but Chris Odom was a guy that was picked up and they're going to rely on, and he was good today.
Well, Luis Perez was pretty good today. The stats won't be eye-popping because of the way they ran the football, but he was in command all afternoon long.
That's the word, Kurt. You took it right out of my mouth, command. You know, this guy is about command and control. If you're going to have a quarterback that is not going to be a threat with his legs, even though he scrambled for a first down at one point, he's got to have full command and full control of what's going on the field, all 22 pieces, and Luis Perez has that. And at 19 to 24 for 151 and the 1 pick, you're not going to be like, oh, he played great, but he really did, because he controlled the game. He changed the play when he needed to. He didn't take bad sacks.
And he makes a good throw there. Seth Green catching it along the sideline.
And remember, a lot of the run game is dependent on the quarterback getting you into the right run and running it to the correct sides based on ratios. And here he's on time and on target to Green, as Green does get those feet down inbounds as he's going to the ground. A beautiful throw by Perez. I was impressed with Perez, the offensive line, the entire offense for the Renegades. They looked like this was week 4, and like everything was clicking. And to do that early in the year is pretty impressive.
Dede Hunter. Two-minute warning. 2 minutes away from going to 1-0. More than 2 thumbs up today, the way this offense played. I guess you only have 2, but lots of thumbs up.
I wish I had 2 hands, Kurt.
Good. Hey, let's punch it in. Let's punch it in.
Arlington has been in control really from the start of this game. Put a touchdown on the board in their second possession and never look back. So they will go to 1-0 on the young season in an impressive fashion.
There you go. Sit up, 180. White and hot. Terrible, sit up.
From the 8-yard line, Dede Hunter stopped at the 5. You know, Kalen Ballage has put up 110 yards rushing, but he's just as proud of his blocking today.
Yeah, you don't want that smoke. You know what's up. I'm on you. Bro, I just whooped that boy. I just whooped that boy. Look at that. Boom!
Let's go trough left.
So as Davion Smith is getting all the touchdowns, Kalen Ballage is most proud of the lead block. I love it. I love it.
Gotta go. Hey, just stay there. Just stay there.
Devin talked about it, just the culture here and the enthusiasm, the wide receivers who haven't been involved. And then you get a running back who's just as proud of his blocking as he is of his running today. So that's what you need to build a winning formula. Guys who are bought in.
No doubt. No doubt, and they certainly have that. He's a huge addition. You know, I wondered going into this, and, you know, we talked about it in terms of Kalen Ballage, what impact was he going to have? And I know Bob Stoops felt like Ballage was going to be a huge reason why they would become more balanced. That's exactly what has happened during the course of this game. 105 of those 110 yards in the first half, 77 of them on that long touchdown run, but now we've got this huge kick. Okay, here we go.
Lucas Haversick, 26 yards away, a lot of people watching. And a lot of people happy. 33-9, and so they cover the over. We always say a lot of people happy. What about the people that had the under?
Well, yeah, what do we got, like half and half? Yeah. You know, I'm not totally sure. I guess half the people are thinking to themselves like, that is an atrocious beat.
Mm-hmm.
Great performance for Arlington. Really good performance. And something to build on. And for Bob Stoops, you know, last year was such a disappointment, in particular early with those close losses. And now he's got a team that not only came out and played really good football, but there were enough mistakes for Bob Stoops to go back and coach his team hard. You know, and that's something that he'll be happy with. And I just got to say, on a personal note, that man is one of my favorite guys in football, Bob Stoops. He is a genuine man and a great football coach, has become a very good friend. Worked with us at Fox a couple of years ago on Big Noon Kickoff. Just a fabulous guy, and really happy when he has success.
And a College Football Hall of Famer. Going in 21 after all those years at Oklahoma and the national championship. Now in his third season here in Arlington, and has his team certainly headed in the right direction. Final seconds of this opening game. Arlington gonna get the win. They will go to 1-0. San Antonio falls to 0-1. San Antonio on the road next week to take on St. Louis, who won last night 31-6 in their opener.
Yeah, that'll be a difficult game. Not only are you playing a really good team, but in that environment.
Ready, go.
Meanwhile, Arlington will take on that Houston team that lost 31-6. And that'll be here in Arlington. They will do it as a 1-0 team. Luis Perez and the Renegades roll over San Antonio, and Wade Phillips. 33-9 is the final. Well, that'll do it for our first weekend of UFL coverage here on Fox.
You got us last year, though. Anyway, hope you're feeling all right. Stay after it.
We will see you again for Friday night UFL. Birmingham, the three-time defending champion, will take on Michigan. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. For Joel Klatt, Devin Gardner, and everyone else from Fox, so long.